All right, good morning, everybody. For those of you that haven't met me, my name is Ryan Newmeyer. I'm obviously with Esquire Association Management. It's nice to meet everyone that I haven't already met. Really appreciate everyone's willingness to volunteer for the poll, because this season, frankly, wouldn't have happened without all of you. So certainly owe you guys a debt of gratitude. I have the camera set up because anyone that wasn't able to make it today, hopefully by recording this, that'll be kind of their training lesson and they can listen to it at their leisure, and I can put this up publicly. So if you're having trouble sleeping at night and you want to watch the video again, that should solve the problem. So a couple different things about the pool season. So we're trying to make this as simple as we possibly can, because we recognize you guys are all volunteers and we want to make this, fun for you guys too. So the first thing that you guys would notice is the pool gate. All of your pool cards will be activated, okay? So your pool card will work over at the gate. None of the other pool cards in the neighborhood will be active, okay? So the idea there is that unless a monitor is here, the pool won't be open, okay? So when you guys first get here, first thing you need to do is unlock the gate, swing it open, put a rock down, and then keep that gate open the entire time that you're here. If at any point you need to leave, and let's say there isn't a replacement for you, that gate would get shut behind you. So it would be kind of your responsibility to shut the gate on your way out, and that way no one else can actually make it into the pool. In terms of the sign-in process and things, we have a couple different flyers here that we are required to have posted. My thought was, because we've tried to put them on fences before and they blow off and they get wet the first time that it rains, so we'll just have these sitting out for you at the table, and you guys can just basically spread them out. If they're not actually on the table because you're the first one here, I don't know, Bob, do you have any ideas in terms of, can we put them in the pool shed, or where can we keep some of this stuff?
Either put them on the counter in the kitchen.
Okay.
Or there's a small table in the gym that's connected to the
Okay, so small table, well, we'll just kitchen counter, because that's going to be the easiest to remember.
They
You think?
should go in the gym. Would they just be put in the hall by the bathrooms?
We'll put it just inside the door. How's
Yeah,
that? Because
that's
we're not allowed to have access to the rest of the clubhouse yet. So these brochures, so that if you're watching the video, it's just the masks are required, the CDC guidelines, and then also the pool rules will be just inside the door there to the clubhouse, and that way you guys can put them out when you get here.
Will the key card work?
Yes. Yeah. Because we're going to have that unlocked and keep that unlocked during the day so that folks can use the bathroom. Yep. And then in terms of the sign-in process, so when a person actually comes into the pool, this is going to be the sign-in sheet. Basically, it's very straightforward. Name, address, time in, time out, and then there's a box for accepting, again, the waiver that's at the top of the sign-in sheet. So everybody that comes into the pool will need to complete the sign-in sheet, and then when they leave, they're going to have to sign out as well. So you have to have time in, time out, and that's so that we're able to contact trace in the event that there was a known exposure. We could contact everybody that was at the pool during that period of time and let them know of that possible exposure. So the sign-in and sign-out sheet is going to be really important. We're getting there. We're getting there. When the person signs in, the next step is for you to make sure that we already have a waiver on file. And if we don't have a waiver on file, they would need to sign a waiver before they're allowed to actually sign in and enter the pool. The waiver forms are right here. I have a whole stack of them. So again, if someone has not signed the waiver, then they can sign the waiver right in front of you. And then in terms of knowing who has signed the waiver and who hasn't, the list that Barb is working on right now is a list of all of the residents. Every resident that has already signed a waiver is highlighted. So if their name is highlighted, they've signed the waiver, they can sign in and come on into the pool. If they haven't signed a waiver, their name's not highlighted, require them to go ahead and complete the waiver form. And then there's a highlighter included in that material. Highlight their name, and that way everybody else behind you knows that that person has already signed a waiver. When in doubt, have them sign another waiver. Okay? So if they say, oh, I already sent that to Ryan, it's possible that they sent it to me by email the night before. We haven't gotten around to processing it yet, so they're not on the list. There's no harm in requiring them just to sign another waiver. I would always like to err on the side of getting too many waivers than not enough.
And will that also be in the table, that waiver list?
Yes. All the documents will be sitting in there together. And I will get clipboards for this stuff instead of the rock solution that I have right now. So we'll make sure that stuff stays down. And just because no one can hear what you're asking, let's do the questions at the end and see if I address it, and then I can stop recording and kind of go through this thing, if that's all right. At the sign-in, make sure that the resident is wearing a mask. That's one of the most important things that the monitors are going to do, is we're going to require everyone coming into the pool area to be wearing a mask at all times that they're outside of the water. Okay, so I know it's not great for tan lines and things like that, but the guidance from the governor's office is that if you're out in public, you have to have a mask on at this point, and we're going to require masks around the pool deck. Inform residents when they come in of socially distanced spaces around the pool deck and ask them to select a spot. So what we're going to do is these orange cones, we're going to, after we're done, we're going to put them out all around the pool deck and basically mark off socially distanced spaces that residents are permitted to then occupy. So a resident shows up with their own chair, you can direct them to an empty space, they go to the empty space, and that's their spot then for the time that they're actually at the pool. We're not determining the pool open enclosure based on the actual number of individuals within the pool deck. We're going to determine it by the number of spaces that are occupied. So once all the spaces around the pool deck are occupied, the pool's closed until we have more room. Now, I will tell you that based on the amount of pool deck that we have here, I don't anticipate there being a problem where we really need to close the pool because there are too many people here. But in the event that we did have too many, that's how we would determine whether or not the pool can remain open. Obviously, we want you to enjoy your time here. So we're trying to make this as sort of simple and straightforward as we can. The one other task that you have as a pool monitor while you're here is to make sure that all frequent touch surfaces are cleaned about once an hour. So there will be a bottle of cleaner, there will be paper towels, and you can just spray off like the door handles, the railings to get in and out of the pool, any frequent touch surface, you know, the doorknobs to get into the bathroom, those types of things. Just spray the paper towel, wipe off those frequent touch surfaces, and that'll increase the safety that we can provide here while everyone's using the pool. If needed while you're here, issue pool reminders. So if someone isn't wearing a mask when they're on the pool deck, nicely ask them to make sure that they keep their mask on. If they're not being socially distant while they're here, you know, kindly remind them of the socially distant requirements that we're going to have during the pool season. To be clear, you're not the pool police. So you are volunteers, your neighbors. I don't expect you to confront maybe a resident who's being difficult. That's our job. So don't feel like you have to pressure a resident if they're not complying. Just contact us. Let us know who it is, an address, whatever information that you can, and we'll handle it kind of behind the scenes. We're not looking for any confrontations at the pool. We're not looking for any strict enforcement on your part in terms of confronting a resident. That's our job. We already talked about making sure that every resident then signs out on their way out, and that way we know the time that they were actually in the pool. The other situation that we will run across is, and perfectly timed, right? Bad weather. So if there is thunder or lightning, the pool has to close immediately. The pool has to remain closed for 30 minutes after the last time you heard thunder. So if that happens, please contact us and let us know that you've closed the pool because of weather. And then we'll make a quick decision if it's, for example, if it's 5 o'clock and you have to close the pool because of weather, the pool's just going to be closed for the rest of the day. If it's 1 o'clock and you have to close for a thunderstorm, then it's at least possible that we would reopen after the weather actually clears. And then what we'll do too is if we're notified by one of you that you've closed the pool, then we can send out a quick blast email to the community letting everybody know that the pool's closed because of inclement weather. If it's just a rainy day, so I think this afternoon they're calling for the potential of just kind of rain for the afternoon, we could just close the pool at that point. You just contact us again, say it's constant rain, I don't see any point in being down there and opening it. That's fine, contact us and we'll go ahead and send out an email to the community to let everyone know that the pool is going to be closed. As I said, the last thing that you do before, if you're the 6 o'clock shift, the last thing that you do is make sure that the pool gate is closed. And then we need to make sure that the sign-in sheets, that we have copies of them. And I'm trying to make, again, the process as easy as I possibly can. The simplest process that I can think of is that before you leave and you put the paperwork inside the gate again, or inside the door, take a picture of the sign-in sheet with a smartphone and text it to me. And that way we'll keep a digital record of all the sign-in sheets throughout the season, and we'll have them. You can do the same thing with the waivers, but we'll be over periodically and we can collect the waivers. The important thing is that you're marking them off the resident sheet with the highlighter if they've signed that waiver, and that way we have that information constantly updated and consistent. All right. That's basically all I had to go over. I'm going to stop the video and then I can answer any questions that you guys may have.